Thank you, Brent, and welcome to Spartan Stadium in San Jose, California. Numbers don't lie. The truth be told, Rashard Higgins might be the best wide receiver you've never heard of. He and the Red Hot Rams take on San Jose State. You're watching college football on CBS Sports Network, presented by Geico. Spartan Stadium, the site. The fans file in. Colorado State, winners of 6 in a row, take on the San Jose State Spartans. This is a key clash in the Mountain West. For Colorado State, a loss to Boise means they need some help, but could win the Mountain. San Jose State, win out, and you win the West. A spot in the title tilt December the 6th on CBS. And a pleasant hello, everybody. John Sadak alongside the College Football Hall of Famer Randy Cross. Colorado State on the edge of national prominence, my friend.
Well, they really are, and if there's one guy that the nation needs to know about, it's Rashard Higgins, their wide receiver. He's leading the country in every major receiving category, and you'll see a little bit of what makes him so valuable here. 1, avoids tackles, breaks tackles, then he beats angles. Those defensive backs have him, but his speed combining with the strength with which he can run makes him double dangerous.
Here are the numbers. Those 12 touchdowns not only lead the FBS, that is a single season program record for Colorado State.
That's exactly the kind of numbers on the receiving end. And then Garrett Grayson at quarterback needs to have the kind of numbers that jumps out. Last week, you see 21 passes, 390 yards, 5 touchdowns. This kid has really become extremely poised. I'm very, very impressed with his accuracy. He'll throw the ball into a tiny window for Higgins.
The man who mentors him, Jim McElwain, now in his 3rd year as the head coach. He's down to the sidelines with our own Melody Collins.
Thank you, gentlemen. Coach Garrett Grayson and Rashard Higgins at the top of their games right now. What's been the difference this season?
You know, I think Garrett's really found a comfort zone. He's done a great job in his preparation, and he's starting to understand that it's okay to just throw to our colored jerseys. Good things usually happen.
Well, 6-game winning streak, 7-1 right now. Doesn't happen every day at Colorado State, Coach. How are you guys handling the national attention?
Well, as I told our guys, let's embrace it, man, because it's been a long time coming, and yet at the same time, let's not forget what's gotten us here, and this will be a great test. This is a heck of a football team that we're playing tonight, and should be a lot of fun.
Thank you for the time, Coach. Good luck.
Thank you.
Guys, back up to you.
Strength on strength. We'll see that offense go against one of the nation's top pass defenses.
Yeah, and yes, that is not Mountain West rankings. That is FBS rankings. 1 touchdown pass allowed by San Jose State's defense. Their defensive coordinator, Greg Robinson, a very aggressive defensive mind. He's got to be aggressive tonight because these stats, more than likely, against this kind of passing team, won't hold up.
The man who's passing for San Jose State, the Mountain West Offensive Player of the Week a couple of weeks ago, the man they call Cool Joe Gray.
Well, I tell you, Joe Gray, since he started for this football team about 4 weeks ago, has really changed the offense. And what changes with Joe Gray at the helm is twofold. Great decision-making and accuracy. He's at about 70% completions. When he sees you, he gets it to you.
The man who mentors him, Ron Carragher, now in his 2nd campaign with the Spartans. Champion San Diego to prominence in the Pioneer League as a non-scholarship FCS program. The former backup to Troy Aikman at UCLA. Trying to find more Mountain West success. In the series, San Jose State leads it 4-3. The Spartans, though, have won the last 3 matchups. Degrees, a little chill as we have November football. San Jose State won the toss, deferred to the second half, so Austin Lopez on to do the kick duties, while Deontay Gaines, who averages 28 a return, receded deep. Gaines loses it in the end zone, takes a wise knee. Colorado State, and it's highly decorated offense gets it going. Time for the Chick-fil-A starting lineups. The quarterback that we chronicled in the open, Garrett Grayson, closing in on history. The all-time leading passer for Colorado State, 21 touchdowns, 5 picks. He is 5th in the country in passing efficiency.
And like you saw from his stats just in that open, they only threw the ball 21 times last week. They're doing a lot of running too.
Stephen Walker motions. You'll see a lot of that motion from Colorado State as San Jose State crowds the box. Play fake to D. Hart. Grayson going deep ball. Rashard Higgins. One-handed with a defender draped on his shoulder, Jimmy Pruitt. And they go big play to get it going.
You expect only that with Higgins. Look at the quickness. Look how he doesn't give his hands away. He doesn't start putting them up too early. The defensive back doesn't know where the ball is. He never looks. Despite the fact that he gets interfered with, he gets tugged on the back, he still comes down with that ball. Shows the kind of faith Grayson has in him, too.
44-yard connection. Toss play, D. Hart, the Alabama transfer, swarmed near the line of scrimmage. Cedric Losi took him down. As we take a look at the rest of the Rams on offense, a decorated unit. It's a bit of a workmanlike line, but Higgins, that dynamic playmaker, more of a basketball man in his high school days. Hart motions out, they go empty. Grayson pressured and sacked. Travis Rosini. Only his second sack of the season. The first came in the Wyoming contest a couple of weeks ago. And here's the full defense for San Jose State, the nation's best against the pass. Rosini, disruptive, but Cleveland Wallace III, he'll get some big tests today, leads the squad with 9 pass breakups to pace the Mountain West.
Yeah, if you're in the back 3, back 4 for San Jose State, plan on an all-day sucker, them throwing the ball at you guys. They're going to be aggressive, and they're going to be manned up.
3rd down. Grayson, telegraphed that, and Joe Hansley blown up by none other than Cleveland Wallace III.
That was some kind of timing. Actually, to my naked eye, it looked a little early by Wallace coming in there and taking him out. Does he get there before the ball? I think in slow motion you'd say yes, but the officials don't get that edge. That was great anticipation.
A football play made by Wallace, and now punt time for Colorado State. Hayden Hunt, the man they call the punt guy, handled the snap well. This one sails out of bounds.
He was the shank guy on that one.
Able to pin San Jose State. As we step aside, Spartans grab the ball when we come back.
College football on CBS Sports Network is being brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. By Lowe's, never stop improving. And by Sonic's new boneless chicken wings.
Steve DeBerg, one of San Jose State's legends, threw for over 34,000 yards in the NFL, played in 3 different decades. We take a look at the Chick-fil-A starting lineups and get a look at the quarterback of the present for San Jose State. Joe Gray completing 70% of his passes, only got the starting nod in the conference opener. That was against Nevada on September the 27th.
Needs to press the ball down the field a little more.
First down run, Tyler Irvin, the combination running back wide receiver. They get maybe a yard. Terry Jackson in there on the stop as we meet the rest of the San Jose State starters on the offensive side of the ball. This 3-4 team, 2-1 in league play though. There's Tyler Irvin, running back, wide receiver. What is he, Randy?
Yes. He's a great slot back. He's a great slot receiver. He's an excellent back. He, Colley, and Winston are the weapons.
Ansel Wilson, the walk-on. They get 5 as we meet the starters defensively. Trent Matthews, the starting strong safety, had that hit. But the man to watch, Max Morgan, the man they call the quarterback of the defense.
And very important against San Jose State that he gets his guys in the right positions. State's a little bit like Colorado State in that they will give you some different looks, especially formations.
3rd down and 4. 25th in the country on 3rd down this year. Gray looking longer left side. A little too long for Wilson, who's a speed guy. Earned a scholarship over the summer, and that ball just buzzed him.
Yeah, that's too bad for Gray. He lays that thing just a little bit too far out. Little too much zip. Not quite enough accuracy-wise. The ball's not dropping soon enough. That sends a message, though. I like that. Give Gray a chance to stretch him. He's got the arm.
Michael Carrizosa, the punter. Rugby styles this one just over midfield. Touched by the Rams. And controlled by San Jose State. They get the ball at the Colorado State 37-yard line.
And if there's one trait that Colorado State, despite a 6-game winning streak, have got, and that is, and there you see the ball easily bouncing right off the leg. That ball right now, live. Excellent job by San Jose State. Colorado State does not start quickly. It was unusual to have them have the big play, get down the field, get down, past the 50. And this is another slow start for Colorado State.
40-yard punt recovered by Deshaun Frierson, the cornerback. Started the first couple of games this year, but had been supplanted by Cleveland Wallace III. So Gray with even better field position. Play fakes to Irvin. Plenty of time. Zips it out to Jabari Carr, who's had some huge days against Colorado State in this series and looks to have a first down just beyond the marker. Tyree Simmons in coverage. He's replacing DeAndre Elliott, who's likely out today with a hip injury.
Something to watch out for. Look at right here. Nothing in the middle. That's a man free. It's man coverage. That tells Gray I've got one-on-one with all my guys. It's like stealing when you get it that far off and you know you have man. Nobody in the middle. Remember that for those slant routes this offense loves to run.
Tim Crawley and at running back, make it 2nd and 1.
Man again.
Pressure comes, a little dump to Crawley, and Crawley gets the block and the first down. Knifed at the 25 by Terry Jackson. Gain of 4. So now at the 25-yard line, Tyler Irvin comes back in at running back. We're seeing a lot of movement here.
I like it. Hit him with a little pace.
Pump. Gray, wide open Wilson, given a huge buffer along the sideline, another first down, and into the red zone just inside of the 10, gain of 16. Kevin Pierre-Lewis in coverage.
Real smart there by Joe Gray, just zipping that thing out. Didn't want to throw it that early, but his receivers on both sides were so wide open.
Today's red zone brought to you by Verizon. There are the numbers on San Jose State. Touchdowns, though, just 48% of the time. A number sunk by Navy quite a bit last week. Gray fumbles the ball, recovers, zips that slant, pops free from Tyler Winston. Picked up by the Rams. Trent Matthews.
I don't think that bounced off the ground, John. It really looked like it came straight off the receiver, bounced right up in the air. Watch. Joe Gray zips this right in. Now watch where the ball goes. Does it come off the ground? Yes. That's an incompletion.
We have a timeout on the field, so we get another look, and we have no score in San Jose. Welcome back to college football, presented by Geico. Here, let's go down to the field. We had a ball pop off of wide receiver Tyler Winston. But after review, it appears that they have overruled fumble and called incompletion.
If you look at it slow right after the catch, the ball goes to the ground and is kicked up in the air.
After review, the pass is incomplete. That's referee Jim Farmer, our replay official Gary Brown. Here's a look.
It's going to be 2nd and goal here. Now watch. right at the end. Looks like a catch. Catch. Not a catch. Look at the ball move. Now, as soon as this ball hits and then it moves, then it gets kicked up into the air. Excellent call there.
So 2nd and goal from the 9. This was set up on a short field thanks to trouble on a punt return for Colorado State. Tim Crawley into the contest at wide receiver, Irvin at running back. Gray off the slight play fake. Fades incomplete, looking for Winston, the target that nearly lost the ball on the fumble last play.
Very nice. Winston's working, isn't able to separate. Just a smart job the whole way, just looking back at the ball. That was just excellent defense.
What do you do here on 3rd and goal from the 9?
Well, you got to throw. I'd go back to one of those little slants. I'd bring Winston from the outside, bottom of the screen, underneath the slot receiver on a slant.
Crawling in the backfield, Gray, locked left, throws left. This one, around the shoulder, Jabari Carr with Bernard Blake in coverage. Touchdown, Spartans.
Well, for those of you that maybe haven't seen San Jose State, their quarterback, Joe Gray, very accurate. How accurate? That kind of accurate. Hitting him in the middle of the, right there on the back elbow. Perfect pass. Excellent protection, too. No one even got near Joe Gray.
5th in the country in completion percentage. That goes for 7th touchdown of the year. Point after from Austin Lopez. Good. San Jose State claims a 7-0 lead. Colorado State, Randy, getting a lot of attention, deservedly so, but this has been their nemesis. The Spartans have owned the Rams in their shared time in the Mountain West. Yeah, and it's been the slow start. We talked about that already, and that's one thing that Jim McElwain would like to be able to say. I can train that out of my team. It's nice to know they can close, but it would be nice for this football team, as good as they are physically, if they could get off to a rousing start. Here's the cause and effect of that score. Give it away, and it can burn you. Special teams losing the ball on the return. Not keeping track of where the ball is. Ball easily comes down and comes right off the leg of Brandon Henney. Deshaun Frierson had that recovery, set up the 6-play, 37-yard drive, just a minute 33 seconds. And Carr, who had over 100 yards receiving in the 2012 matchup with a couple of scores, already has one today. Deontay Gaines, 1st in the Mountain West, 11th in the country in kick return average. Out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. This week's Kanoko Athlete of the Week, Colorado State quarterback Garrett Grayson. What a showing against Wyoming last week. 5 touchdowns, the most by a Ram in over a decade. He completed his first 13 passes. Hey, you talk about the light really coming on for a young football player. Garrett Grayson had that light come on in the offseason, spent time in the Peyton Manning Academy. Got a chance to spend some time with Peyton and some of the other great quarterbacks there. And, you know, according to Jim McElwain, he's a different quarterback since he got back. Out of the pistol, D. Hart, different running backs, transferring from Alabama. Flag flies, but he dropped the shoulder and ran over 2 Spartans for a first down, if it stands. Team King was there. That was thrown by the back judge. First down. So an 11-yard play negated, Randy. Goes against the Colorado State Rams. Here's a look. Left side of the line, up and down, right there. There's your cut block when engaged with the other lineman. You can't do that. I don't care if it's just a brush that the guy has left or a hand when he's on the other lineman. If he's still engaged, you cannot go down low like that. So that takes away the 11-yard first down run by D. Hart. Treyas Gerald's in at running back with Hart on the sidelines. Grayson loading up to throw against a light rush. Grayson has little. And Grayson taken care of. Sack back at the 10. Vince Buhajer. A loss of 3 on the play. Nobody open.
Look at the receivers down the field. Where are you going to go with it? You going there? I don't think so. You're going to go to Higgins? That's for no gain. That's to lose yards. The offensive line initially has got a good thing going, but there are no receivers, and Grayson does the only thing he can do, which is run for his life.
Second down. Put it on the ground. They read that one fairly well. A few nifty moves by Gerald, but the junior college transfer at Grossmont College stumbled by Buhajer. Buhajer had a huge game last week, a career-high 14 tackles against Navy. With Christian Tongo limited today, perhaps might not play in linebacker. There's more pressure on him.
Well, you see him always on the field, so he plays in nickel. And I'd play a lot of nickel against this Colorado State offense. I wouldn't worry about a base defense. So Buhajer is going to be in a situation where he's going to be doing a lot of pass drops.
Gerald's motions into the backfield. Some pressure comes. Grayson checks down, finds Charles Lovett. Lovett chipped down at around the 15.
Guess who? Buhajer coming out of that middle linebacker spot again.
They get 3, that's all.
Early on, this Greg Robinson defense for San Jose State, we talked about their billing and their rank. Right now, their pass defense looks up to the challenge, except for that one big play by Richard Higgins on the opening play of the game.
Hayden Hunt, yesterday named a Ray Guy Award candidate as the nation's top punter. Boots this one to Tyler Irvin. Dynamic return. Irvin makes 2-man miss and loses his footing. Flag flies as he stumbled at the 44. So a flag on the field.
That's right there in the block in the back area, John. It really is. It follows a really good program also. Inside College Football is on from 8 to 10.
Who's on that?
Yeah. Well, Aaron Taylor, Brian Jones, Christian Fourier, Adam Zucker, and
you.
Some older guy with gray hair.
You have hair at least. Tim Crawley in the backfield. Gray on the toss. Crawley to throw. Back to Gray. Gray looking downfield. The long launch. Winston. Incomplete. Tyree Simmons in coverage. Yeah. San Jose State with the lead, breaking it out of the bag.
Ron Carragher's had to see that and just go, oh, please throw it in to the stands. See, look at it on this all-22. The ball's going to end up straight back where it started. Now, there's nothing to throw to. I'm throwing the stands. All you're doing there is putting the ball in danger. Colorado State did a very nice job of not biting on that play and leaving the wide open receiver.
They showed blitz, only send 4, and out of an empty set, an incomplete look to Winston. By the way, we should note that the penalty flag thrown just before the commercial was waved off. We've had some issues with the microphone system from our officiating crew. Hence why this drive began at the 44, and there they still stand, Randy, with a 3rd and 10.
And another timing pattern that just looked off. And sometimes that off-looking pattern can be as a result of good aggressive defense. That disrupts the timing of a pattern. That's what happened there.
0 for 2. On 3rd downs. Gray has a free. Loose football, and the Rams pile upon it. Oh, we've had turnovers aplenty early in this one. Josh Lovingood on the spot as Corey James jarred it loose.
Watch the blocking up front. You've got Games going up front. And that's just a pure speed rush. You beat an offensive lineman like that, you definitely earn it. And that was Evan Sarver, the right tackle, that got beat for that sack that resulted in that fumble. Good handwork defensively all the way across the board by Colorado State. Now here you've got a sudden change. Great spot to go deep to your good receiver, Richard Higgins.
Turnover on each side. One led to the only score. In space, Higgins. Sniffed out well. Hakeem King, top 5 on the team in tackles, and he popped it.
That's a nice little thank you. Watch this introduction.
That's not polite at a party, right?
Well, it depends on what kind of party you want to go to.
I suppose, yes.
The cocoa butt's optional.
2nd and 10, Gerald's in the backfield. They run the sweep to Hansley, and they can't get that edge. The contain is there.
Yeah, I tell you, this defense came into the game highly rated against the pass. We showed you about their ranking, but right now, Greg Robinson is started aggressive, and he's staying aggressive. There's Greg Robinson right there, longtime defensive coordinator. Needs a little headset adjustment.
D. Hart has returned at running back. Rams 0 for 2 on 3rd down. Motion from Lovett. Grayson. Pressure. Grayson on the roll. Dangerous throw. Finds Hansley near the sideline, and that's good for a 1st down.
Man, that was some kind of protection up front. That whole offensive line, especially Fred Zerblis, the right guard, number 54. Keep an eye on this right guard with the long hair. He catches the linebacker coming around, squares him up, keeps him squared up. That tells you all you need to know about the arm strength of Garrett Grayson right there.
Highly accurate as well, 11-yard completion for the 1st. And here we see this movement again, Randy. You see that a lot.
Yeah, a lot of shifting. They'll include offensive linemen in those shifts.
Hart against the wide open right side. Drops the shoulder, and nice for another 1st down, barreling off of Forrest Hightower, the safety.
Yeah, D. Hart, former Alabama Crimson Tide running back, now doing some graduate studies here. Lower the shoulder, make some noise. Bam! Very nice. Look at him. He's looking for it. He's hunting it up. And he's the one that keeps on going forward.
14-yard jaunt. Head coach Jim McElwain told us he brought Alabama practice habits and attitude to Colorado State. Graduated in 3 years. He's got to transfer in.
He's got the toot. He's only 5'9", 190. A lot of strength in that, 190 pounds.
He's got the ball again in his belly. And he's got it to the 6-yard line, a gain of about 5. Hakeem King on the tackle.
I mentioned the right guard, Zerblis. Good guy to keep an eye on. He's easy to find. You see the long dreads there of D. Hart. If you look in the front, right in front of him, see 54 there with the Loxo lot. He's got all the hair going. He's got the beard hair, the beard neck.
They called him Mr. Nasty. This highly prolific passing attack has done a lot of it on the ground. And here with misdirection, Hart swarmed by the Spartans. Travis Rosidi in space at 6'5", 285. Got the first contact.
You watch what they did with Zerblis in this offensive line. They're going to pull to the right. They've got the line going this way. Both these guys come out. Watch what happens for D. Hart. D. Hart's getting a nice block. He wants to cut it up inside out, especially Rosidi. Rosidi got away with a little bit of a face mask there, actually.
3rd and 6 out of the pistol. Hart right up the gut, and Hart goes into the end zone for a touchdown. His 7th rushing TD of the season.
This would be a good angle to see this blocking up front. Check out the line, the white line for Colorado State. Guys in the white jerseys. You want surface. When you can maintain surface like that on a goal line play, and I mean surface on the body of the defender, it's going to be a successful play.
Jared Roberts, the point after. Mr. Automatic, his conference record 98th consecutive extra point made. But it's a similar recipe. Defense equals offense.
Get a sack, get a strip, get the ball, and Grayson in the offense does the rest, with D. Hart finishing off with a nice, elusive, powerful run.
All tied up at 7 in San Jose, California. Time now for Do Game Day Right, brought to you by the all-new LG G3. Here's the breakdown. 1:45 p.m. arrive at Spartan Stadium. 2:34 p.m. a pregame meeting with officials and coaches. The band was on the field at 3:44. The captains met at 4:01 and kickoff at 4:04, all times Pacific. Tim Crawley, Tyler Irvin, the return men. Jared Roberts set to kick. Preseason All Mountain West Conference performer Irvin, a great return man from his 5. Irvin with a seam to the 25 and down at around the 26-yard line as we learn more about the Spartan quarterback down to the sidelines with Melody Collins.
Thank you, John. Well, when I asked Coach Carragher about the growth he's seen in Joe Gray this week, he said, I'm very encouraged. My whole thing with Joe is that we just want to see continued growth and improvement at the position. He says Gray's gotten better each and every game, but being our quarterback's about so much more than just the completion percentage, guys. He's a leader and an extension of the coaches on the field, and that's certainly an attribute any coach wants out of their QB, guys.
Thank you, Melanie. And leadership yearned for on the field from coaches. He's seen that so far from Gray.
Yeah, it really has. Been great leadership so far.
Irvin doesn't see much of daylight as he gets swarmed right around the line of scrimmage.
So, you know, there's an offensive play, but you need to have a threat. If you're going to run that read option with the quarterback and the halfback, I mean, if you're not going to give Gray the ball and let him occasionally run as a quarterback, you basically, there is no read option. You're just fooling yourself because no one on defense is going to pay any attention to it.
Only a yard there. That's something you spoke about last week when we had a chance to see that San Jose State Navy game. Crawley in the flat. Gets one block, but there are 3 white jerseys, and he still finds a way to navigate up that sideline before Preston Hodges had the hit and took him down.
Mere mortals, or I should say regular non-athletes like us, John, we'd be tackled. Now you've got bodies. If you can run like Collie, you get positive yardage. We would have lost 2 yards. He gained 8.
I would have run the other way into the tunnel probably. After a gain of 5, a 3rd down and 4. 1 of 3 on 3rd down today are the Spartans. Gray with Carr in motion rolling. Gray on the edge. Gets the block from Irvin. And dances out of bounds near the marker.
He's going to be a little short, I think. But here's an example of implying that the run is there. It's a sprint right. He's running here to pass. Now, as soon as he tucks it, he's running to run.
He got 3, so it's 4th and 1. Hansley, the deep man, they've made an adjustment, though, as they have D. Hart in there as a second short returner. Remember, they had the fumble on the punt return try earlier, as this one gets booted out of bounds at around the 32-yard line. So no chance there for a return after a punt of 35 yards. There's Jim McElwain, the 3rd-year head coach of Colorado State, former offensive coordinator at Alabama.
And he has made an amazing difference in the Rams. Everything about Colorado State football is different because he came in here and what he has done. Everything from their strength and conditioning to their mental drills that they do during the course of their year. I mean, this is starting to turn quickly for Colorado State because they have a coach like Jim McElwain.
Gerald's in the backfield. Gerald's gets the ball. Gerald's gets tackled by Racidi at around the 36. So a gain of 4. McElwain, mentored by John L. Smith for a time. He was on his staff at Louisville at Michigan State. His experience, though, largely came in the FCS ranks in the Big Sky Conference. He's an Eastern Washington graduate himself.
And it doesn't hurt to be on Nick Saban's staff, being the offensive coordinator at that point, winning 2 national champions.
Off the play fake. Plenty of time. A long launch and a wide open in stride. Charles Lovett. Lovett chipped out of play just inside of the 30. Lovett led the team at catches back in 2012. He gets 34 yards and a 1st down.
Watch Grayson. Good footwork, good presence. What was the highlight of that play? Wasn't so much the gain. Did anybody get near him? There wasn't a defender for San Jose State even threatening Grayson there. If he can step up, that's the kind of play that will be the norm.
And it's a patchwork offensive line that lost so many seniors from a year ago. Out of an empty backfield, Lovett has to go up to get that one and twirls off a would-be hitter. Earns his way to the 25-yard line, and here is the passing prominence after that 7-yard completion.
Very impressive the way that Garrett Grayson has sort of brought his game around through this last year or so. He's got a little limp, little hitch in his get-along right now, probably from some of the shots he's taken. But when you have these shotgun snaps and timing routes, it's hard to catch that thing and spin it out of there.
Here's Jarrells alongside. He's had some shoulder problems this year. Twice injured his throwing shoulder. So he flicks this one out to Jarrells. And Jarrells swung down inside of the 20. Taken down by William Osai, the linebacker. 8-yard gain. Move the chains yet again.
Yeah, when you got a quarterback, he's got a little limp on his. He's limping. Plus, he also has kind of a dinged shoulder. He's on a pitch count. Doesn't even throw on, Sunday, Mondays, and Tuesdays. He's got his pitch count on Wednesday, Thursdays, and Friday. Keep that shoulder going. It's been much more of a mental game for him.
Injured that shoulder in the win against Boston College. Pressure, dodges a would-be hitter, finds Jarrells just inside of the 15. Gain of a long 3. Vince Buhagiar on the tackle. Has a little John Wayne in him right now.
Check out Ricidi. He's coming from right here in the middle and what he does. Good pass rush, clean shot. Nice little shuffle by Grayson avoiding him.
First quarter comes to a close, and we have a 7-7 draw between the Rams and the Spartans. You're watching college football on CBS Sports Network. This Mountain West clash journeys to the second. Tie game at 7 in San Jose. Second quarter about to get underway as we take a look at the college football playoff rankings brought to you by Dodge. And Randy Cross, these were the first ever college football playoff rankings. Your thoughts?
Well, it'll teach Notre Dame and University of Georgia to take a week off. I thought their ranking kind of suffered from the fact that they weren't in front of the country, much like a TCU scored 82 points and popped up into 7th. But they're going to redo those rankings every single week, individually, argue the spots.
San Jose State entered this game ranked number 1 in passing defense, already more yards allowed in one quarter than they average per game. Grayson, off his back foot, finds his target at all. He's found by a hitter as well. Hansley brought it in, but Buhagiar dropped him inside of the 15, gain of 4.
Beautiful job by Vince Buhagiar, playing linebacker in coverage and then just closing and driving the defender, or driving the offensive member to the turf. That's a perfect form tackle, shooting your hips, pulling your arms, and burying the guy in the ground.
2 of 4 on third down today, 3rd and 4 with Hart in the backfield. Gimpy Grayson. Slight rush, dangerous pass that seemed to go off the fingertips of William Osai.
It got tipped a couple times. It gets tipped early. Yep, a couple times there. That was excellent. I don't know what the heck Grayson was throwing that into. That's a sure sign you're throwing to the #1 receiver in the country. In Higgins, that you don't care there's 3 or 4 defenders right there. Your guy will come down with it.
28-yard attempt happening. Jared Roberts, the kicker, takes the snap, fumbles the ball, picked up by the Rams. They won't get it. Nolan Peralta, the tight end, fell on the free football. You have a great kicker on the road, a chance to take the lead. Your thoughts?
And you go ahead and you fake it. No one says Jim McElwain is boring when it comes to his offensive thoughts. I think he's trying to give his team a little something to get excited about, and the execution was what was wrong there. It wasn't so much the intent.
Another special teams faux pas. Now, the man who calls the plays, Dave Baldwin, the former head coach at San Jose State, was an assistant here in the early 80s, head coach from 97 to 2000. Irvin sweeping it out, finding a huge gash. He's got speed. Tyler Irvin, 89 yards, touchdown, Spartans.
Beautiful job here from the high end zone on the other side of the field. That hole opens up. Irvin sees the other side, and when I say the other side, I mean the other end zone, and puts it into another gear. No one even gets close.
Jim Morrison of the Doors would be proud. Third rushing TD of his season. Austin Lopez nails the point after. And San Jose State claims a 14-7 lead.
That is a 10-point turnaround. You could have kicked the field goal and gotten a field goal. You faked it, and they take it right back and stick it in your ear. I like that. That's some turnaround football.
14-7 San Jose State. The script starting to repeat itself a little bit here, Randy Cross. Special teams issue, put the ball on the ground on a fake field goal, and then one play later, score.
Yeah, it's been pretty consistent in this game. You turn it over, you are going to pay, and you're going to pay pretty doggone quick. Yeah, I like the call to go for the fake field goal. I had the issue with the execution. The execution was horrendous.
You saw Jared Roberts when we came over, the kicker who fumbled. Tyler Irvin, fourth longest run in school history.
That's his second now, right? 80 yards plus on the year. And that's the kind of sudden offense you can get out of guys like Irvin and Colley. Colley's the same way. He can do it from the slot, and he can do it from the backfield.
Jim McElwain, his team had only lost 4 fumbles all season entering this game. But a ball deflected off a hip on a punt return, and then a drop snap for a fumble. Could not convert on the 4th down fake field goal. And a bit of a pooch here by Austin Lopez.
It's a live ball, better get on it.
The Rams hop in the air. Looks like Colorado State indeed has it. Preston Hodges in there on special teams. So we have a 14-7 contest here, but later in this week's Nissan Heisman Watch at the half, the guys in studio will get you up to date on the leading Heisman contenders and weigh in on who they think will take home the sport's most coveted trophy. Here's your top 3 entering the day, Randy.
Yeah, I love what Dak Prescott's doing. Melvin Gordon had another huge game today against Rutgers. Amari Cooper, I put him in there at third, is, you know, numbers-wise and playing for a team like Alabama, he's the best receiver in a lot of people's minds, but Rashard Higgins has better numbers than him all the way across the board.
Former Alabama man, D. Hart, zigzagging, not yielding much. Free football. San Jose State says it has it. They peel the pile. Jim McElwain upset to see this ball loose so many times. Spartans jump up showing the ball.
Officials are still talking, discussing.
They have not yet made a ruling.
San Jose State's more than happy to help them out on it.
Ball was in the hands of Vince Buhagiar. And they're going to say Ram football. That's the call from referee Jim Farmer.
Well, that's the definition, too. When you see the ball change hands that many times, sometimes the guy that comes out of the pile is just the guy that fought for it the longest.
It was William Osai that knocked it free.
Now they looked like Hart got right. It was Hart, right? Got right back on it.
So a loss of 2. Play fake. Grayson. Plenty of time. Long load and a dangerous toss toward Higgins. Incomplete. It was far closer to Jimmy Pruitt and Cleveland Wallace III than it was to Higgins.
He threw that ball about 65 yards in the air. I think he actually surprised Higgins. He threw the ball, and Higgins started coming back, and suddenly he turned around and went, whoa, that thing's 10 yards over my head. He goes, oh, whoops. That has its effect, though. Even though he's double-teamed, you stretch that defense. They've got to take that threat seriously.
Lots of third and longs today for the Rams, part of why they're 2 of 5. Only a 4-man rush with a stunt. And a thread of the needle to the 45 for a first down. What a throw and a hookup to Xavier Williams, the redshirt freshman, a 14-yard connection.
Yeah, as Jim McElvain says, well, the last couple of years we got a lot of length at wide receiver. When he says length at wide receiver, he's talking 6'3", 6'4", 210. They've got some redshirt freshmen and some freshmen that they pass the eye test. Let's put it that way.
Wanted to get bigger. They've more than doubled up on first downs. In the flat, Jordan Vaden gets a view to around the 49-yard line. Tackled by Forrest Hightower.
Tackle by number 12, Forrest Hightower.
And yet all these turnovers, Randy, and San Jose State showing on first down defensively is Colorado State going uphill.
Well, you're seeing them be fairly conservative, only taking a couple of deep shots. I'd keep going over the middle of the field, that 15, 20-yard area.
D. Hart goes up the middle of the field. Spartans make contact at around the 45. He'll be short by a little more than a yard. William Osai again in there on the hit. We've seen a lot of Osai and Buhajer with Christian Tongo banged up with a shoulder ailment. So
yeah,
if
you're Colorado State here, your strength, offensive line-wise, go right behind Zerblis, 54.
Long, hard cadence. Gerald's the deep man.
He's working against Raciti right in the middle of that offensive line. Right here, 54, going against number 3.
Geralds goes right guard and gets the first down. Twisted down by Osai, who's on his backside as he made the tackle at the 42.
Yeah, the two guys to watch are the right guard and the right tackle right here next to each other. They make the key blocks. Zerblis going against Raciti. They get just enough on the line. They get off for a little chip on a backer, and it's a first down.
A gain of 3. Now at the 42, play fake, Grayson. Balab and Higgins bumped by Pruitt. That one again a little long.
I mentioned Zerblis and Raciti. Watch these two going at it right here. Watch this matchup. Both these guys are kind of throwbacks. And when you get an edge, you jump on the guy, and when he gets on the ground, they call Zerblis Mr. Nasty. Looks like Chewie from Star Wars.
What a Wookiee. 2nd and 10. Play fake. Higgins can't connect with him further downfield, so more of a check down look, and Jimmy Pruitt with the tackle.
And that's what makes, I think, Higgins as good as he is he's not just an intermediate to long guy. He'll catch these little ones. He'll make you pay on these plays. You saw in the very opening of this game, he took a little receiver screen look and made it into a touchdown.
3rd and 4 after that gain of 6. Here's the shift. Hart set up behind Grayson in the pistol. Grayson, lots of room, zips it to Stephen Walker, and Walker gets dropped. His 25th catch of the season, hit by Vince Buhajer, and they hold on 3rd down.
Yeah, Buhajer, watch him close on the ball. Buhajer's number 36. He'll be coming from the middle of this defense, and he closes and has that nice ability to, that's not a form tackle, that's kind of a rugby tackle. But this guy is all football player. He's all linebacker. So then you've got a guy looks like he's about to hold, coming off the field.
Play clock at 4, and the timeout has to be used by Jim McElwain. They would have had a delay of game penalty. It'll be a 54-yard field goal try.
How do you miss your holder? How does the holder forget on the holder?
They have some things to sort out. Special teams have not been special early. It's 14-7. 14-7, San Jose State leads Colorado State as we take a look at the Go RVing road trip facts for the San Jose State Spartans. Capacity of over 30,000 in this building that only sat 4,000 when it opened back in 1933. Turf was installed in 2009. And a field goal forthcoming. 53-yard try.
And San Jose State's not buying it. They kept their defense on the field. This is field goal safe with your starting defense still in there.
Roberts has hit from 54. That was against Air Force a couple of years ago. Bit of a high snap, clean spot. And this kick is good. So Roberts, who had hit from 52 twice before this season, gets a season-high 53-yarder to make it 14-10.
Yeah, guy from Colorado State playing at altitude. People tend to poo-poo the stats, but altitude is not an issue here in San Jose in the Santa Clara Valley. That's just all leg. Beautiful job, and that takes a little bit of that sting off that wayward snap and fumble on the fake field goal.
He was the hero in the bowl game last year, had the game winner against Washington State. And a Lou Groza Award nominee, finished as a semi-finalist in that regard last year, the senior out of Littleton, Colorado, who on his career has now converted on 38 field goals, the second most accurate kicker in program history, and a wipe of the brow for Jim McElwain. And it's been a roller coaster start.
Well, it's been one of those games. He's seen his team do this in the past. But like you said, with the turnovers that they've had, with the mistakes that they've had, you're only down 4 points. That's not bad. Not at the rapidity with which this offense can score for Colorado State.
Why do they assemble this way formation-wise for kickoffs?
It looks good.
Aesthetics.
Confused blocking numbers. You know, guys in their kick return team says, okay, I've got the third guy on the left. 1, 2, which one's third? You can't tell which one's who. That's why you do that.
Jared Roberts ready to boot it. Urban and Crawley, you saw, as the return men. Fresh off the 53-yard field goal. This one playable for Urban from his 6. Urban's got an 89-yard touchdown run. And this return, free football. There must be butter on the ball tonight. San Jose State recovers, it appears, at its own 16. Eric Williams in there on the recovery.
Nice hang time on these kicks because coverage is just getting all over Irvin. Bad ball maintenance, that old 3 spots of the ball you've got to cover and squeeze.
Make that Simon Cadet on the recovery as we learn more about the status of Garrett Grayson from Melanie Collins.
Well, thank you guys. Just an update on Garrett Grayson. You've seen him limping pretty heavily out there, especially on that planting foot. I'm told he's dealing with a pulled groin at the moment. You can see he's toughing it out, trying to play through it, and I'll keep my eye on him down here from the sidelines, guys.
That's good stuff, because if he does have a pulled groin, that is going to do nothing but get stiffer as the day goes on. He won't be able to run after a while.
Gray on the run, something you've been calling for from Gray. As he gets to the 20, Max Morgan with the tackle, gain of 5, and there's Grayson on the bike.
Well, that's why you get on the bike. If you've got a groin that's stiff, that thing's going to, if you're on the sideline, that thing is going to stiffen up like crazy. How come every time I see these guys on the sideline riding the bike, all I can think of is the Wizard of Oz.
Dun, 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 dun.
I'm going to get you, my sweetie. And that little dog, too.
Ray, a long look to the sideline. Tempo not necessarily of import to San Jose State, but communication is, and the Spartans elect to call a timeout. So Ron Carragher calls the TO. Let's take a look at the contact that we believe preceded the limp of Garrett Grayson. It looks innocent enough.
It was. He had that before that pass. Remember, that was the pass we marveled at. That his feet were so steady and his base was great and he threw the ball so effectively. Won't have to worry about running around too much if he does have a slight pull in that groin. It'll make him more of a statue, more of a destination quarterback. D. Lyman loved destination quarterbacks because there's a set specific spot you have to get to. It's not like he's going to run away from it.
2 timeouts on each side. as far as what's on the line in this game. Colorado State, one loss, it came to Boise, so they need the Broncos to lose. But with winning out, Colorado State could win the Mountain. San Jose State win out, you win the West, and you go to the championship game on CBS December the 6th. Pivotal conference clash. Crawley in at running back. Big blitz comes up the middle, and Gray hit as he lobs it out. Crawley can't bring it in. Just a little bit off with Max Morgan in coverage against the smaller burner.
Well, they're not going to let Joe Gray stand back there and throw it. They're bringing pressure. Smartly done by Joe Gray. Puts that ball right out there. A little bit of a premature jump by Colley. If Colley would have held his body down a little bit, would have had a little bit better chance. He didn't have to jump for that ball. That ball was coming to him.
One of 4 on third down today. Entered the day at 46%, 25th in the country. Gray. Knocked down, intended for Tyler Winston. Dangerous look that was nearly picked off.
At no point is he ever open, even for a back shoulder throw. That's extremely lucky there that didn't result in an interception by Colorado State in great field position.
Bernard Blake in coverage. Michael Carrizosa. Booming punt. Hansley from his own 40. Hansley over midfield. Spun around inside of the 45-yard line. Shane Smith, the special teams tackle. You're watching college football on CBS Sports Network, presented by Geico.
Game seems to be always in New England.
And it seems like a lot of those picks have indeed come up there in New England.
That's 2 of the arguably 5 best guys that have ever thrown a football. Put them in any order you want. Most people will.
Who else do you have in that group?
Montana, Marino, Elway.
Gerald's the first down run. Gets to the 36. Maurice McKnight on the tackle. Well, it hasn't been pretty in the first half for Colorado State. We've seen punt, touchdown, turnover on downs. That was when a field goal fake went awry, and then a field goal make of 53.
And I'm giving San Jose State's defense credit. They have disrupted the timing and flow of this offense for Colorado State.
Grayson in stride. Higgins first down. He stiff arms Jimmy Pruitt. 14-10 here. We check in on more back in New York City.
Alex Collins in Arkansas. They've dropped 16 straight SEC games, but they lead #1 Mississippi State 10-0 early on the road.
Well, there you go. Recently crowned #1 in the first ever college football playoff poll. Bulldogs already down to the Razorbacks.
Yeah, they had a hard time with Kentucky last week. That's not too surprising. They don't know what it is to be #1. How to handle it.
1st and 10 in stride. Stephen Walker, the H-back, pops through a pair of defenders, tackled it around the 18-yard line. Gain of 7.
Now this offense is starting to get a little flow to it. You see Grayson, he's a pure pocket quarterback at this point. Just a beautiful on-the-run delivery to his running back. Running back gets it perfectly where he can just catch it and put it away.
B. Hart back in at running back. Hard cadence from Grayson. Playing with an injured groin. We've seen him on the exercise bike trying to keep it loose. Hart finds the seam and falls forward for the first, weaving his way to the 14-yard line.
You know, Grayson almost fell down. Keep an eye on Grayson coming away from the center. Watch him. Wants to get the ball back to Hart. Good blocking up front, but he can't move. They're going to have to start allowing for the fact that that was almost a turnover. Grayson cannot move laterally, so their handoffs have to be adjusted.
Pistol depth. You see Grayson limping, but Hart surging. Popped out of play inside of the 10. Knocked by Vince Buhajer, and now with 11 tackles.
A really good job by D. Hart. D. Hart adjusted, just adjusted his route, got closer to his quarterback, so Grayson didn't have to stretch that far. It's definitely bothering Garrett Grayson.
7-yard gain to the 7. Gerald's in at running back. Grayson with that bum wheel. Whole lot of motion. Grayson locked left side, lobs it in that direction. And a retreating Higgins goes up and gets it for a touchdown.
Touchdown, Colorado State.
That was about timing between a gimpy quarterback and his favorite receiver, Rashard Higgins. He knows the ball's going to be where only I can get it. Never shows his hands like it's coming too early until the ball is right there. DB never looks for the ball, puts his hands up. For a guy like Grayson and Higgins, that's like stealing. It's way too easy.
Cleveland Wallace III, the best cover man for San Jose State, could not contain Higgins, his program record and nation's best 13th touchdown catch of the year. Roberts' point after is good, so he's converted on 99 straight extra points, extending his own Mountain West Conference record. And there's the slight limp for Garrett Grayson. As we take a look at some of the big stories around the world of college football, Kenny Hill suspended coming after a quarterback change.
Yeah, they spent the better part of 2 weeks debating whether or not they were going to replace him, and now they get rid of him for 2 weeks because he violated team rules. Air Force today clinched the Commander-in-Chief trophy with their victory against Navy earlier, and now defeating Army today 23-6. And how about East Carolina going down to Temple?
East Carolina, the only group of 5 team in the initial top 25 of the college football playoff rankings. Many believe that the runner-up, the 26th team in the AP poll, would be the next most likely to crack in the playoff poll. That's Colorado State.
Yeah, but Colorado State has their own problems as it's sitting right now, and that's something that Jim McElvain and his football team knows. But hey, you've got to perform to get people's attention, and squeaking by doesn't get their attention.
It took down Wyoming last week 45-31, a game that wasn't quite that close. It was 38-10 in the fourth quarter. This one's been very close. Urban takes a knee in his end zone. Jim McElvain told us that he thought they were ahead of schedule a little bit. He inherited a team that had lost 35 games in the previous 4 years. Well, San Jose State trying to rebuild in a similar manner, not yet quite on that same footing.
Well, when McIntyre was here with San Jose State, they really had things going in a great trajectory. Then he leaves and goes to Colorado. That's when Carragher came in here, and there's naturally going to be a little bit of a lag in between. But I think with Ron Carragher, they've got the guy that long-term can bring this program back to where it should be.
Urban in the backfield. Gray keeps. And Gray on the run lunges for a first.
There you go. Keep it. I like it.
Let's check in with the studio in New York City.
Ole Miss leads Auburn 14-7. Bo Wallace to Laquan Treadwell. That game in the second quarter. And number 1 Mississippi State is on the board, trailing Arkansas 10-7, guys.
Thank you, Brent. We have a one-score game here as well. It's been an interesting day, Randy Cross. So many dynamic scores.
Wow, I mean, I'm still just dumbfounded by that Georgia-Florida game. That's amazing.
Crawley gets a few. The SEC West dominated the top tier of the rankings. At least the first ever edition of them. Is that merited? And how do you see the early scores today perhaps impacting?
Well, remember, polls at this time of the year are eyeball tests. So it's what teams look the best. And if you're anywhere near semi-objective, there are 4 really good possible national championship type teams in the SEC West. That's why they're ranked that high.
Second down. Gray. Little dump to Urban, who's got some room. Urban twisted down for another first at around the 47-yard line. LaRyan King on the tackle, gain of 10.
Yeah, LaRyan King does a great job on the defensive side. But you just start pulling out in front of this. This is a screen, just a quick screen. There's LaRyan King chasing it down from the backside. Good blocking setup.
There's the disparity in the air. San Jose State doing a lot of it on the ground. Go to the ground again with Urban. Urban turns it back up to midfield. Gain of 3. Max Morgan on the tackle. If there are some that believe there should be a widespread geographic representation, so we see the 3-yard run.
Yeah, you know, as far as the playoff poll goes, until you start playing each other off like they will in the SEC West, you'll start seeing more representation of different conferences. Big 12, Big 10, Pac-12. It won't be so lopsided just for the SEC.
Low snap, Gray, delayed handoff, Urban. Not a whole lot, about a yard. But here's third down. And the San Jose State team that hasn't done much in the air. How limited are the Spartans by the fact that the passing game hasn't been that opened up?
I wouldn't say they're limited. I think what they should do is maybe broaden their scope a little bit. There you've got Colley here at the bottom of the screen, wide receiver number 2. He can line up there. He can line up at running back. Get him the ball in the air. Let him run with it with people around him.
Only 1 third-down conversion today in 5 tries. Gray finds Crawley. Gets hammered as he brings the ball in for a first down to the 41. Aaron Davis laid that big lift.
Yeah, very, very impressed with Joe Gray when he gets not flustered but flushed. He doesn't lose his composure. And he still keeps that accuracy. Almost threw that one behind Colley. But that receiver is a running back, slot, does a little bit of everything.
9-yard connection. Time ticking on this half. A keeper by Gray who takes the slide.
That's exactly what I talked about on that option. If you're not afraid that the quarterback isn't going to keep it, see the option. Look at how everybody is just collapsing. You know why they're collapsing? They don't think the quarterback's going to keep it and run. And now twice we've seen Gray keep the ball and run.
Runs for 5 to set up a reasonable second down. Crawley in at running back. Crawley gets it this time, and they read this brilliantly. Swung down by Joe Kowalik. So now time ticking. We have inside of 90 seconds, Randy. Do you use a timeout here?
Nope. Unless you want to think about how bad I really want to give Garrett Grayson and that offense the ball with time on the clock. I think you let it run. You set yourself up either for a long field goal or just a little pooch punt. I am surprised that Jim McElwain and company haven't called a timeout themselves to stop this.
Low snap, pressure comes. Gray hit as he throws, one-on-one. Wilson can't bring it in. Preston Hodges in coverage. They decided to dial it up here.
Watch the pressure come in low. You get down around those ribs and around that waist, can affect the quarterback, but that ball was thrown right where his guy could get to it. It's out of bounds, but it was still very accurate. And for your efforts, you get nothing but a face full of Lexus.
Only the sign, not the actual vehicle.
Yeah, could have been a fender. There's a bright side.
4th and 5. And it looks like we will have a timeout now. San Jose State wants to talk it over. 42 seconds, 3-point game. Colorado State with a 17-14 lead at San Jose. We have coming up at the half the Verizon halftime report. Brent Stover, Houston Nutt, Christian Fourier getting you caught up with all the news and notes from college football today. Recap from Jacksonville, 11th ranked Georgia Bulldogs against the Florida Gators. And preview the San Diego State at Nevada game that follows us. It's all coming up on the Verizon halftime report. Up and down game turnovers have factored significantly into this matchup. Out of a called timeout, San Jose State had showed its punter and kicker and then trots out the true offense. Tyler Urban at running back. Time of possession dominated by the Rams, a category normally owned by the Spartans. Movement, the flag flies. Gray going sideline, incomplete.
Ay. That was a layout there, putting his receiver car in a pretty nasty spot. He took a good shot on the sideline.
Here's the ruling. Referee Jim Farmer.
Remember, it was 4th and 5.
Offside defense.
Here's a look.
Look at the inside. Now you're well offsides. And here's that hit I talked about. It was rather humane of the safety not laying out Carr right there, because he could have taken a heck of a shot. Shows you how much these young defenders have learned over the last 2 years about not taking that KO shot that can result in a targeting call and an ejection.
So after a 4th and 5 penalty, nets a first down, 45 seconds, a long time.
See, now you're in field goal range. So now you play with the field goal sort of in your back pocket. That's your default. Don't take a sack. You've got that one at least. Now you make them, if you're San Jose State, you try to make them pay with a touchdown because of that offsides.
Game clock now at 40 seconds instead of 45. Irvin at running back. San Jose State has one timeout.
I go back to Winston, bottom of the screen, 15.
Irvin instead getting a little closer, chipping to the 25. Terry Jackson on the tackle, so a gain of 5, 30 seconds.
San Jose State's got 2 timeouts. Colorado State has 2 timeouts.
Gray, right side for Carr, twisting and unable to bring it in. Bernard Blake in coverage.
Yeah, now that was a textbook example of coverage. Man coverage across the board. There was nowhere to put that ball. That's using the sideline as your best friend if you're a corner.
3rd down and 5. Only 2 conversions on 7 tries tonight for the Spartans. Pressure comes in a big way. Gray again, the Carr. 3rd time, no charm. Dropped. Blake there in coverage again.
Yeah, they want to go after Bernard Blake. But the blocking was there for Joe Gray. Look at this step up. You block him. Gray delivers it right on the money. A back shoulder throw right off the hands.
The graduate student out of San Jose, California, Carr's been so clutch with 2 big touchdowns in this series. The game winner in 2011. Here's a 42-yarder from Austin Lopez. Lopez's boot has the distance, and Lopez, no good. Started the year by missing 6 of his first 9 field goal tries. He had made 7 of 9 since, but misfires here with a chance to tie the game.
That really hurts if you're San Jose State. When you get an opportunity like that, Against a favored team like this, you've got to come away with points. Ball's just slightly pushed outside the right upright.
Frustration for the junior out of Euless, Texas.
Colorado State's just going to snap it, kneel down, and go in the locker room and try to figure out this first 30 minutes and where they went wrong.
And that said, while I would agree they went wrong in so many ways, they're on the road with a field goal lead.
With those turnovers, you keep doing that, you won't be a champion of anything. They better clean that up quick.
Spartans will get the ball in the second half as we check down to the field with Melanie Collins and the Rams head coach Jim McElwain.
All right, thanks, gentlemen. Coach, some mental errors, especially on defense and special teams. What do you need to see better out of them in the second half?
Well, we just got to focus and, you know, play our style of ball. You know, right now we're kind of letting them get into it and this and that. And really it's about us. We just got to come out and play. But you know what? They're a pretty decent ball squad.
Yeah, Grayson obviously in some pain out there, having trouble moving laterally. How will you adjust with him in the second half?
Just tell him to throw it faster. That's kind of the key, but he'll be all right.
Okay, thanks, Coach.
Thanks.
Always puts a calm picture to some chaos. His team with the lead. That's the end of the first half. We come back with Brent Stover and the gang. They'll get you caught up on highlights from around the country. The Verizon Halftime Report. You're watching college football on CBS Sports Network, presented by Geico. 17-14, Colorado State leads here in San Jose. As we welcome you on back, we're moments away from second half action. John Sadak, the College Football Hall of Famer Randy Cross. And Randy, your takeaway from the first half, you thought that there were some little things for Colorado State that blew up in a big way.
Thank goodness it's over. Thank goodness we've made those mistakes. We won't be making those again. Second half, it's all out there for you. You want to be a top 25 team. You want to make the college football playoff poll. You want to be the other 5 representative. It's all out in front of you. You got to finish it off.
Here is how they got it started. The highlights from the first half. Turnovers, part of it, creating some short fields. The score for San Jose State. Carr from Gray, while Gray's son gave it on the ground to D. Hart, the Alabama transfer. Pounded it home, his 7th rushing touchdown of the campaign. Gray on the handoff to Irvin. He had over 150 yards all-purpose. 89 came on that run, his second 80-plus scoring play of the year. And then Higgins with a two-handed grab in the end zone. Here are tonight's Geico difference makers. Rashard Higgins got another touchdown, extending his program record to 13, while Tyler Irvin, an 89-yard touchdown run, 4th longest in program history. San Jose State won the toss, deferred to the second, so the Spartans get the ball. Jared Roberts to kick, and there's Irvin, an outstanding return man as well. Booming kick. Irvin has a chance. And Irvin felled at around the 20-yard line. Mark of it about the 22. Here are tonight's game improvements brought to you by Lowe's.
Yeah, for Colorado State, you just got to find a way. Squeeze that ball. Do not turn it over. San Jose State, keep attacking Colorado State. You've got to try to make them make mistakes and help you.
Lowe's never stop improving. Grayson trying to improve his motion, I'm sure, at halftime, while Joe Gray trying to improve on his team status. Down a field goal. A field goal miss occurred just before halftime. Winston's first catch of the game, and Winston's got the first. Chopped down just beyond the 45 by Trent Matthews.
Watch Winston catch the ball, then look for blocks. He gets the blocks both inside and outside. Got the offensive line even out there out in front. And that's how you get your best receiver into the action quick in the second half after he goes the first half without a catch.
25-yard reception. Play fake. Wilson over midfield. Double teamed by Hodges and company as we check in with Melanie Collins for word on the San Jose head coach, Ron Carragher.
Thank you, John. I spoke with Coach Carragher coming into the half. He said, I'm proud of our guys. He had a big smile on his face. He said, we're playing hard. A tough turnover in the first half, but we just need to capitalize on every opportunity. Meanwhile, he says our defense is playing hard, and we're keeping Grayson in check. Overall, he says he's very encouraged. Randy and John, back up to you.
And Grayson's going to be easy to find in this second half, too, with that groin starting to tighten up. I don't anticipate him taking any snaps under center. It's going to be all shotgun.
Couple of bigger bodies in as Irvin tries to find an edge, and Irvin does just that. A first down. Bernard Blake with the tackle. 5-yard run.
And Tyler Irvin, another one of those guys we talked earlier about D. Hart not being the biggest guy in the world. Irvin's 5'10", 178 pounds. That was a lot of oomph he ran with right at the end of that last run to get that first down.
They're down some men in the backfield. Thomas Tucker, an injury. Jared Lawson still suspended. Irvin getting more and more touches. Gray looking to throw back. Instead goes deep. Wilson in the end zone. Goes up and cannot bring it in cleanly. Back of the end zone. Trent Matthews guided him out to the white.
A nice job by Joe Gray in that he puts this ball where only his guy's going to get it. Now, his guy needs to be playing in Canada for this to be a touchdown because he can use the extra playing field. But see, neither of the defenders are even a factor on this catch. It's caught well out of bounds, but excellent protection by San Jose State for Gray there.
If the Alouettes come calling, he'll be ready. 2nd and 10. 4-man rush, Gray to a leaping Carr, immediately popped. Hit by Tyree Simmons, the sophomore. So 3rd down coming up. We're in San Jose, California at Spartan Stadium. John Sadak, the College Football Hall of Famer Randy Cross, Melanie Collins patrolling the sidelines. It is a Mountain West Conference clash. Two teams with a lot to say nationally and within the league. Colorado State, 1 loss, a 6-game win streak on the edge of top 25 status. San Jose State win out, you win the West, and you go to a Mountain West championship game. Gray on 3rd down, big pressure up the middle, gets it off, what a one-handed grab. Hansel Wilson, the walk-on. Highlight killer play.
Well, there's acrobatic, and then there's are you serious? This is are you serious? One-handed, knocks it down to the other hand. And all the while doing that while you're running full speed across the field. That's something else.
18-yard grab for the man who earned a scholarship this summer. He might be the fastest player on the team, according to the coaching staff. Play fake. Gray off the pump, stiff-arming his way out of bounds and turning aside Max Morgan as he gets 4.
There's nothing wrong with that. You know, Joe Gray is repeatedly running some of these option looks. He's keeping the ball, and in this case, gaining positive yards. That's going to keep the Colorado State defense honest.
Tonight's red zone numbers brought to you by Verizon. And that 9-yard touchdown pass, that was a hookup with Jabari Carr.
Saw those red zone numbers. If you're Colorado State here, the most you want to give up is a field goal.
Irvin zigzagging his way and lowering that shoulder again. He brings the boom. Falls about a yard short to the 10. Max Morgan and Aaron Davis in there on contact.
We'll set up 3rd and 1. Not even a full 1.
And they go big again. Chris Dadson at 6'1", 240. The fullback enters. Shane Smith, the other fullback, set up as a tight end to the far side of the screen.
Irvin over the top. Maybe even a play action.
9th play of the drive, and they go up the gut. The fullback run by Chris Dadson. Pounds his way to the 8, and that's good for a 1st and goal.
Oh, talk about old school. You mean people actually use fullback still? Beautiful job. He's met in the hole, but that doesn't matter. That's a matter of a defensive back being matched up with a fullback, and that means the DB goes backwards and the fullback goes forwards.
And that means the chains go down. Dadson in there still at fullback. Irvin. Morgan levels him at about the 4-yard line.
See, this sends a nice message if you're San Jose State that, you know what, we're going to be here for a while. Colorado State would love to get them off the field. Couldn't do that. Now you're looking at giving up points.
Second and goal for the Spartans from the 4.
I think for Ron Carragher and his football team, it's the perfect way to start the second half, and not so much for Colorado State.
Major change of formation. Gray on the roll. Gray throws it away. 4 white jerseys blanketed 2 targets.
Smart job because Joe Kowalik, the defensive end, was going to be right there. That was going to be a sack if Joe Gray holds on to that ball any longer.
So down a field goal, 3rd and goal. What's the look?
3rd and goal for the Spartans from the 4.
Yeah, we haven't seen much in the way. You know, Wilson is a big receiver. He and Carr at the bottom of the screen. Some combination route between those two.
Low snap, Gray. Quick look. Incomplete, intended for Winston. Bernard Blake in coverage.
Oh, Bernard Blake, they're committed to going after Bernard Blake. They've done it for the better part of this game. They do it here. Winston sees the ball coming. Bernard Blake does a great job. To see that left hand, watch his left hand. Just gets in there and breaks it up. Won't let that ball even get near Winston's hands.
21-yard field goal try from Austin Lopez. Clean snap and spot. The kick is good. He missed late in the first half with a chance to tie, but he knocks it up early in the second. 17-all in San Jose.
College football on CBS Sports Network is being brought to you by Dodge Dart. Don't touch it. By the all-new LG G3. And by Chick-fil-A. We didn't invent the chicken, just the chicken sandwich.
No Halloween hangover here, huh?
Hangover, heck. Most of these kids here tonight, they're levitating. They got so much sugar in their system from last night.
Having a good time at San Jose. Tie game at 17 after a 13-play, 74-yard drive. Took 5 minutes, 18 seconds. Austin Lopez converted from 21 yards. Now set to kick off. Deontay Gaines, the return man. Gaines, the Mountain West top kick returner. Showing wide. Blazing just past the 35. Taken down by Maurice McKnight on specials.
Now, what kind of quarterback can Garrett Grayson be in this second half? Can he operate from underneath the center? Is he going to have to be in the shotgun all the time? How much time can he afford to hold the ball in his hands knowing he can't move and the pressure is going to get to him?
That's our quarterback profile brought to you by Sonic. After a 34-yard kick return. Grayson out of the gun. Big pressure. Grayson deals with it brilliantly, and a dangerous throw nearly picked off. Jimmy Pruitt far closer to the ball than the intended D. Hart.
Check this out when it comes to staring down a receiver. Grayson does this. Watch this. He gets over here, and all he does is look over in this side of the field. Never turns his head. And if you've got double coverage like that, that's asking for a ball to be intercepted, throwing it in that tight of quarters.
He's had a few moments like that tonight. On the ground with Hart. Second effort. Hart grinding to the 46. Akeem King with the tackle. That's a long 9.
Well, keep an eye on my guy right here, Mr. Nasty, the hillbilly, working against Rossetti. Push, push. You drill him down the line, and then you got a running back like D. Hart. Tell you, offensive linemen love to see a running back run like that.
3rd and less than a yard.
I'd say the sneak would be golden. Only your quarterback can't run.
Hart has it.
Not by much.
Isaiah Irving with the tackle. They move the chains without a measurement. Well, Colorado State is averaging a little less than 3 yards per rush at this point, Randy. What's creating that?
I think it's the aggressiveness of San Jose State. They're doing a good amount of stunning and blitzing up front. And Greg Robinson, their defensive coordinator, has basically come into this game and said, you know, if you're going to beat us, you're going to have to beat us with us playing our A game.
4-man rush with an empty backfield. Charles Lovett has the catch right near midfield. Gets about 5. Forrest Hightower with the tackle.
There's Greg Robinson, the defensive coordinator. Says he's got a bunch of kids here at San Jose State that just love playing. And it's really invigorated him.
Man who won 2 Super Bowl rings, coordinating with the Denver Broncos, was the head coach at Syracuse from 2005 to 2008. Jarrells carries a man on his back. Faloi Vi at 6'3", 275. Gets a first down.
The great thing about Greg Robinson, you know, you talk about he was a head coach. He was defense coordinator for Rich Rod at Michigan. He was defense coordinator for Mac Brown. He was out of football. And he said the sign that he needed to get back into football was when he started advising his wife that there were certain plates that if they put them in different orders in the hutch, they'd look a lot better. He said, that's when I figured out I needed to give my wife 7 or 8 hours a day with no me around.
The domestic issues brought him back to the gridiron. Grayson trying to survive. Incomplete. And Greg Robinson.
Watch this offensive line taking care of their guy. You've got a blitz. You've got a zone blitz. He's getting pressure. Now they're all trying to get in somebody's way because they know Garrett Grayson can't run. That was the outer limits of his athletic ability right now, and it's up to Zerblis and the rest of this Colorado State line to take care of their quarterback.
Timeout called by the Spartans. A little peculiar to see a timeout here on a 2nd and 10. Tie game at 17. They'll talk it over. We'll be back. $17 all, Colorado State, San Jose State. We welcome you back to San Jose. Invite you to stay tuned all the live long. San Diego State at Nevada heads your way next. Another Mountain West clash, while Inside College Football, presented by Dodge, wraps things up. Here's the latest in the league. Mountain West picture is Boise and Colorado State tied atop the mountain. Remember, Boise holds the tiebreaker due to a head-to-head win, while San Diego State and San Jose State each have 1 loss. That San Diego State squad, top 25 in the country in scoring and total defense. They'll play in Reno. Out of a San Jose State call timeout, Higgins the 2nd down catch and gets more than the 10 to get the first down. Maurice McKnight was there in coverage. That's a 14-yard hookup.
Rashard Higgins, now he reads zone. When you have zone, you can run across the defense, get lost in the shuffle. Is exactly what he does. Gets lost in the shuffle and cuts across the field.
From the 29, Hart. Out of bounds at around the 25, a gain of 4. As we learn more about the world of college football for the boys back in New York.
Yeah, Ole Miss and Auburn after a 20-yard punt by the Tigers. Ole Miss, their first play, 50 yards. Bo Wallace to Evan Ingram. And the Rebels at home leading 24-14 on the Tigers. John, Randy, and Melanie.
Thank you, Brent. A matchup of 2 teams in the first ever top 4. The playoff rankings. D. Hart dancing his way for about 2 yards. Not much there in the belly. Almost like an elimination game, Randy, twofold, not only in that national picture, but even in the SEC itself.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you get 2 losses, I find it hard to believe that there'll be a team with 2 losses in this playoff. I don't care which conference you're coming out of.
See the defensive numbers for Ole Miss. Remember, they are without Denzel Kindichi. He's done for the year. 3rd and 5. Grayson against pressure. Finds a target. Finds a first down. Rashard Higgins again setting up shop in the middle of the field.
Very nice effort by Higgins. He comes out from the bottom of the screen as the bottom receiver, comes in motion, comes across the field. Look at him set up. He's sitting right in the hole in the zone. He reads zone. He sees linebacker in front of him, safety behind him. He settles in the hole for a first down.
Gain 6 there. Pistol look. Here's the 11th play of this drive that's chewed up more than 4 minutes. Hart, huge hole. D. Hart grinding inside of the 10. Buhajer with yet another tackle on what's been a big day, but a big gain of 9.
Check out this right side of Colorado State's offensive line. Man blocking, and all 3 men cover their guy up. Excellent blocking for a very good aggressive running back in D. Hart.
2nd and 1, a lot of options here. It's Hart. It's a first down to the 5. William Osai with a tackle, gain of 4, 1st and goal.
See, when you have this kind of a passing style, you don't have to have a crazy good running game. And with D. Hart and his ability to run, pretty good. You know, people will laugh at 130 yards these days as a rushing game in college football. You go 130 to 150 with the way this team can throw the ball, that's all the running game you need.
They go with a big package here, though, harder to throw. 5 yards away from the end zone.
Now it's a spread.
Timeout called by Grayson.
Right in the nick of time, too. That was almost a 5-yard penalty.
With the play clock winding down, we will take a break. Tied at 17 in San Jose.
No.
Let's check in with our Chick-fil-A fan cam. Reactions of the day.
Yeah, trust me, kid. 10 years from now, when you're surrounded by 5 good-looking women, you'll have a lot bigger smile on your face. Now, this guy's not fully committed, is he? Did he lose a bet? You think they have to wear that wig and the whole yellow and blue thing, the gold and blue?
Well, Halloween was yesterday.
He's not real psyched up. I mean,
no. Cookie Monster, Elmo in the house. Celebrity sightings.
Cookie.
So here it is out of a Colorado State called timeout. 1st and goal from the 5. What's the scenario?
They got tight ends for days here. At least 2 shifts. And a little D. Hart.
13th play of the drive. It's Hart. Off the right side, stiff arm creates some space, and oh, what a hit! Double team effort championed by Vince Buhajer.
Well, if you watch San Jose State football, you better get used to seeing number 36 wreaking some havoc. There he is right there with some havoc.
Toss, Hart, out of bounds. What's the tackle total on Buhajer at this point, though? It's been
He had 9 in the better part of the 1st quarter. So he's well into the double digits now. And you know, you look at this offense, they've taken this run, made it a part-time thing.
3rd and goal. Toss to Hart, and Hart flies into the end zone for a 2nd touchdown of the day.
Touchdown, Colorado State.
A lot of shifts, a lot of movement. Jim McElwain loves to do that with his offense. A quick toss and let D. Hart be D. Hart and move. That's beautiful. You get the defense running sideways, and then you cut up field. Excellent answering drive by Colorado State here in the third quarter.
So Hart, 2 scores today. Point after converted for Jared Roberts. 15-play, 64-yard drive took nearly 6 minutes. D. Hart plunges from a yard out, and Colorado State has a touchdown edge.
John Sadak, Randy Cross, and Melanie Collins.
Well, thank you, Brent. Bit of a bounce back, perhaps, for last year's national runner-up.
Yeah, Auburn's far from dead.
Colorado State, much the same. What a drive. 15 plays, 64 yards, a lot of it on the ground for a team that's normally pass-heavy.
Now's the time in the game. If you're Colorado State, you've got to show people you got the chops to be in the top 25. Do you have a killer instinct?
Facing a San Jose State team that entered 3-4, but 2-1 in the league. Tyler Ervin has nearly 190 yards all-purpose today. Adds to that. He's over 200 and a face mask, perhaps. He was hit on high and ripped down at around the 25. No flag.
I don't know about a face mask, but he wasn't going anywhere without his upper body. That looked like just a hook across the chest. Watch the hand. That is right across the chest. That is not a face mask. That is not illegal. Woo! That's something straight out of the rodeo.
Preston Hodges with a contact 22-yard run back. Tomorrow afternoon at 1 Eastern, take a look back at what made Bushwhacker the fiercest and most legendary bull the PBR has ever known. Don't miss Bushwhacker, Legend of a Bull. Tomorrow at 1, right here on CBS Sports Network, the 24-hour home of CBS Sports, called the Michael Jordan of professional bull riding by Newsweek. Ervin showing no ill effects from that contact, gets the ball and gets to the 30.
Yeah, if San Jose State's going to be effective, you know, Joe Gray needs to get Ervin, needs to get Winston involved, needs to get Crawley involved, needs to get Carr involved. Spread this ball around and keep these sticks moving.
Both teams have gone to bigger packages. San Jose State does that here. Ron Carragher sends on Dadson and Smith for a 2nd and 5. It's Ervin. Not a ton of room, but he still squirts for about 4. Kevin Pierre-Louis with the tackle. Only a yard short of the first. And the spot will make it about 1.5 yards here. 3rd down here, Randy.
Yeah, you've got a running back like Ervin at your disposal. It's worked so well for D. Hart. We've seen him stretch a defense and cut back. Ervin has much the same kind of running skills. Stretch, look for the crack and lower your shoulder.
Ervin bouncing it outside. Does a good job of holding onto the ball. Tyree Simmons nearly knocked it free, and he gets the 1st down, the 5th conversion on the game.
That's exactly what I'm talking about there. Supposed to be inside, bounce it outside. You've got the 1st down, then lower your shoulder and finish off the run. Good stuff by Ervin. Wasn't necessarily blocked great, but he used his speed to outflank the defense.
First and 10. Ervin still back there. Off the pump, Gray improvising. Making something out of little. Aaron Davis with the tackle, gain of a little more than 5.
That's good stuff. Joe Gray, he had nothing to the right for the pump. Then he looks to the left. I've got nothing there. I'm going to tuck it, and I'm going to run. Good decisiveness by Joe Gray tonight. We've really seen him on a few occasions keep the threat of the run alive. That does wonders because the defense can't just disavow and say this guy won't stop.
That's tonight's quarterback profile, brought to you by Sonic. Ervin slipping through the would-be hit. Preston Hodges could not bring him down. He's inside of the 45.
Now here's where you've got a running back that can go in the slot and catch the ball like a receiver. That's multi-skilled, and I know at the next level, the way he's protecting the ball, covering it with both arms, they're going to love seeing that with the skills that this kid can bring, not only as a running back, but also as a receiver.
Down a score at home. Spartans have won 3 straight in this series. All of the games in their shared time as Mountain West squads. Dangerous look to Winston, a little low. Winston somehow brings this in with Tyree Simmons immediately adjoining it. 5-yard gain.
You hear body control, the term body control. There was body control by Winston. He had to contort himself into 3 different directions.
We have a game through 3 quarters. Colorado State has a 24-17 lead. You're watching college football on CBS Sports Network, presented by Geico. 24-17, Colorado State leads at San Jose State as we welcome you back. 4th quarter just about to get underway. John Sadak, the College Football Hall of Famer Randy Cross. It's been a bit of an up and down game. We've seen both teams go to bigger, more run-oriented packages in the second half.
Yeah, I think Colorado State's going to the bigger packages has a lot to do with trying to take care of their quarterback, Garrett Grayson, who can't really move around very much. San Jose State, that's kind of how they roll. They mix everything else. A lot of personnel packages.
This matchup has some impact not only in the Mountain West, but also nationally. This Rams team entered with aspirations for top 25 status, perhaps to grab a group of 5 New Year's Bowl spot. San Jose State win out, you win the West. Could get to the Mountain West championship game. The run by Irvin good for a first as we go down to the sidelines for an injury update with Melanie Collins.
All right, thank you, John. Just a couple of injury updates on the San Jose State side. Number 2, Tim Crawley, wide receiver. You saw him limp off after that return. He knocked knees with an opposing player, but he walked it off. He should be good to go. He's fine. Meanwhile, number 96, defensive end, Cedric Lousy, sprained his knee. He is out for the rest of the game. He's no longer wearing pads, guys.
Thank you, Melanie. So the loss of a body up front against a Colorado State attack that's been a little more plotted. San Jose State. Irvin in space. Irvin with a block from Carr. Swallowed up at around the 20 by Aaron Davis. That's a 13-yard gain.
And an excellent tool to have in your belt is to have a running back that can run with the ball like this on a quick little screen. Line does a good job of getting in the legs of defenders, and then it's just scoot down the field by Irvin.
Joe Gray trying to engineer this with a lot of help from that dynamic playmaker in Irvin. Gray threading the needle. Winston could not collect it with one hand, although it was thrown to only a spot where Winston could corral it.
That was a good job by Gray. Giving that little fake across his body. Defense is all running to that side. You've got Winston. Looks like he was just totally unprepared for the ball to come as early as it did.
Joe Gray had plenty of patience to win this starting job. Now looking for a huge victory. But he needs a score to tie it up. Gray steps up, one-on-one. Finds his target, Tyler Winston. Touchdown Spartans. They've tried to hook up all day. They've had limited success, but this one could tie the game.
Just fighting and fighting the whole way. Hand fighting by the defense, hand fighting by Winston. Then Winston just puts the brakes on, comes underneath. Beautiful throw by Gray, beautiful catch by Winston, and the Spartans have got this thing knotted up again if they can get this extra point through.
Austin Lopez for the important point after. Hits it. Tyler Winston had the game-winning catch in overtime against Wyoming. He had the tie-breaking grab in the 4th quarter last year against the Rams. And he ties this one up in the 4th. Thank you, Brent. So what he's saying is the Iron Bowl could yet again decide the national championship.
Or the Egg Bowl. You know, Ole Miss, if they come back and beat Auburn, they're not out of this thing with only one loss.
SEC West has been fun to watch this year. The Mountain West fun to watch as well. A pooch from the 25 to the 40, the 45. Preston Hodges, as an up man, gets tremendous yardage.
I don't know about that. You're trying to catch somebody by surprise, but it wasn't anybody on Colorado State. It worked one time where they let the ball hit the ground. Well, they learned from that mistake, and now they make you pay. Beautiful field position.
25-yard run back to midfield, and that's the spot for Garrett Grayson. Currently deadlocked, but he knows something about fourth-quarter efforts. 5 career fourth-quarter comebacks, tied for 5th in the country among active QBs. From the deadlock, D. Hart stiff-arming and spinning his way against Adrian Blake for a gain of 5 to the 45. Rashard Higgins has been the target, although these numbers are below his norm.
Well, his norm is about 7 receptions for about 142, 145 yards. So right now they've held him 60 yards under his norm.
He has had 170 in each of his last 4 games entering tonight. Off the pump, Grayson. Wide open target. Hensley inside of the 25. Hensley inside of the 10. Jimmy Pruitt takes him down. Spot him at about the 7-yard line. Huge play.
Right there. Keep your eye on Rashard Higgins. He's going to put his hand up and go, me, it's to me. You know what? It's not to him. They run the ball up the field. That's beautiful game planning. That's how you set it up. If you're fishing, that's called ripping lips, because you just made one bite on it.
Sounds very vibrant. 38-yard connection. Hart dropping the shoulder and pounding his way in. His 3rd touchdown of the day. And the Rams with a short field go 50 yards in a heartbeat. I think the pooch kick will be rethought.
The pooch kick just came back to haunt San Jose State. And if the pooch kick didn't haunt you, D. Hart's more than happy to lay a shoulder on you and haunt you all the way into the end zone. Didn't take long. Ron Carragher took the chance with the pooch. 2 plays later, bang, bang. You're down 7.
Jared Roberts, 101 consecutive extra points made. 3 plays, 50 yards in 1 minute and 4 seconds. D. Hart has 3 of his 9 touchdowns from the season tonight. The band plays on. Colorado State has the lead, 31-24. Early stage still of the 4th quarter. Welcome you back to San Jose, California. We're at Spartan Stadium. John Sadak, Randy Cross, Melody Collins down at the sidelines, and our CBS Sports Network crew. And that man, D. Hart, a huge day, 3 touchdowns. He was recruited to Alabama by the offensive coordinator, Jim McElwain, now his head coach with the Rams.
Now a graduate student at Colorado State. Got out of Alabama in 3 years and makes the trek out west to follow the man that recruited him. And he's paying off like a crooked slot machine right now.
Only had 1 touchdown in his 3-year career at Alabama. Irvin has his share of touchdowns on returns. Won't get one here as Hodges takes him down at around the 25. Now let's take a look at tonight's touch of the game, brought to you by Delta Faucet.
Now, is it the touch of the quarterback or the touch of the receiver?
Feathery look by both, I
You
think.
can call that for either end of that pass. That was beautifully executed.
That was Rashard Higgins' 13th touchdown catch of the year, tops in the country, and resetting his own program single-season record. Not bad for a sophomore who came in and had some drop problems last year, played limited football in his past. Inner city kid who's earned the nickname Hollywood. On the ground, Irvin. So around the 30-yard line. Max Morgan on the tackle, so a gain of a long 4.
Yeah, with the shift and everything, that was a reproduction of that long touchdown run that Harvin had earlier in the half when he just sprinted down the field. And I think what you're seeing there was it's inside-out pursuit blew that play up.
That was an 89-yard run earlier in the contest. Delayed handoff here. That caught everyone by surprise out to the 40. Gain of 11. Aaron Davis took him down.
Nice job up front by this offensive line. Look at him blocking. It's a draw play. You turn your guys out, and you let Irvin just sort of pick his spots.
41 plays, 263 yards, 24 points between the two teams. Been ratcheted up a bit. Gray finds Winston. And he's found by the big body of Terry Jackson, the JUCO transfer out of Coffeyville Community College, gain of 3.
That's the hazard of running those wide receiver screens. If you're a receiver, you catch it, you turn back inside. Suddenly you see big number 93 coming at you. That's the fight or flight. That's when you make a business decision and decide to go to the ground and not get hit too hard by 93.
More trick, less treat, or is that dated?
It's a little bit of treat.
Gray. Nobody saw this coming either. Peekaboo to midfield. Trent Matthews with the tackle. And the deception, devious here.
Very nice. Last week, didn't pay off with this play. Early in this game, didn't pay off. Read option, you collapse as a defense. You saw the defense collapse. Kowalik, the defensive end, went way inside. As soon as Joe Gray saw that, he knew he had a big chunk to run.
3rd and short. Might he keep it here? Wilson in motion. He does just that. Can he get the push? Did forward progress get him the first? This will depend on the spot.
He's short of the 50. If he had to get to the 50, he did not make it. There is nowhere for him to go. That defense for Colorado State inside did a beautiful job. I mean, you look at Lorian King and the rest of them, they pushed that offensive line right back into Gray's lap.
Do you go for it here? They want to go for it on 4th down.
If you don't make it, you're giving up 7 points.
Entered the day, 10 of 13. That's good for 9th in the country. Up the gut with the fullback, Chris Dadson.
That's a 1st down.
So Ron Carragher rolls some of the dice. He's done this all year.
Here comes the fullback. Just right up the middle. Lorian King had a little bit of a job, a little bit of a chance of getting them early, as did Terry Jackson. They couldn't break that forward momentum of the big fullback.
So now on the Rams side of the 50. Gray steps up wide open. Carr surging inside of the red zone and tackled at around the 11. Bernard Blake yet again the man in coverage. They've thrown his way all game.
Watch the coverage break down. You get the shove. He shoved him out of bounds. Was that even marked on the sideline that he was out of bounds? Looked like he ran out of bounds on that one.
Not seen. 38 yards.
It's kind of like holding. If they don't call it, it's not holding.
Pretty much.
I like it.
Spoken like a true offensive lineman. Gray locked left side. Heaves end zone. One-handed try by Winston comes up short. That was a laser beam.
That really was. And that was his intent from jump. Watch the ball go back to him. Look where he's looking. Looking at the middle of the field, saw the safety wasn't there and knew right when he was going to go with that ball. Just gunned it a little too much mustard and a little too high.
2nd and 10. Up and down the field, these teams dance. Tight coverage shown by the Rams. Play clock at 4. Crawley Trying to find the edge, helped out of play by Aaron Davis after only getting a couple.
Yeah, you bounce that wide. That sideline is suddenly the 12th defender. Because you got nowhere to go but to cut back in, and the pursuit back inside for Ron Carragher's offense wasn't able to get any yards going forward.
You can get a first down here, Randy, but there's a minimal difference. First down to touchdown.
Clock's moving, you're being successful, and as an offense, San Jose State's got a world of confidence.
Low snap, Gray deals with it well. Gray flushed. Gray shovels and throws it right to the Rams into Aaron Davis's clutches. The man who leads the team in tackles gets a pick on an underhanded toss.
Trying to throw it away at the very end of this play. As he's going down, shovels it through, and the interception's there. Well, if it wasn't him, it'd be somebody else, but his guy wasn't catching that pass.
Corey James, the pressure, big turnover. Thank you, Brent. It appears the chat with Hugh Freeze perhaps paid some dividends. A chat just held on the sidelines for San Jose State, though, after a costly turnover.
Watch this from the all-22. Now, if you're the quarterback, where are you going to go with this? You're going to go there, he's covered. How about there? He's covered. How about there? He's covered. You know where this ball should go? Should go somewhere up that tunnel right now. Just throw it. Get rid of it. Don't do that.
A forced shovel, underhanded scoop. And a pick. So Colorado State with the lead in the ball. Off the play fake, thinking big things. Grayson going long for Higgins. Higgins has it. Over midfield, and he burned Cleveland Wallace the third. A huge play for the Rams as they go for the jugular.
That's the second big coast-to-coaster, and Rashard Higgins is a little dinged up there. He's coming off the field with his shoulder. Gets banged into the turf, his left shoulder specifically right there. Beautiful pass, excellent catch.
55-yard connection, and Higgins getting looked at, helmet off now. D. Hart gets the ball. He's got 3 scores, and he's got about 5 yards. Let's take another look at that contact with the field turf for Higgins.
Well, watch where his shoulder and the ball are when he goes to the ground, right there. He bangs right down on that elbow, that ball, and that shoulder.
He is hidden by some bigger bodies. You can see a piece of his two-tone hair with his head bowed.
That's easy for you to say.
On ball.
That's one tone. Or no tone, I should say.
Travis Rossetti takes down D. Hart, no gain. This Ram team, though, has owned the clock in this contest.
And that's the key here. I mean, you've got that big chunk from Rashard Higgins, but right here, the key for this, keep the first downs coming. If you get a field goal, great. If you get a touchdown, better. Eat clock.
7 of 11 on third down tonight. Grayson finds Hansley and the first down. Hansley hammered inside of the 15, gets to the 13 and move those chains.
Watch the patience of Garrett Grayson, the quarterback. He's back, he looks left, nope, looks right, nope. Sees Hanley, suddenly he just keeps coming.
15-yard connection. Maurice McKnight combined with William Osai on that hit. So here's 1st and 10, pistol look.
That Hansley can be quite the irritant. He's not the big name type of a weapon, but he sure comes up at bad times.
So does Hart, usually at touchdown times. This carry bulldozes his way to the 7. McKnight again with contact. So a gain of about 6, and Higgins still getting looked at. He is seated on the left of the screen. Now the back of it, there he is grimacing slightly, 82. And it is that left arm shoulder. 2nd and 3 without Higgins. Hart. What a job to zigzag his way in. 4 touchdowns for D. Hart.
Tell you what, though, William Osai, 29. Watch him right here. That was a break. That was a nice cutback by D. Hart, making a linebacker completely whiff.
Point after from Roberts. Hensley with the hold. Roberts with the kick. 6 plays, 88 yards. A little less than 3 minutes. D. Hart gets his 4th touchdown. It doesn't happen, though, without Gray giving it away.
Yeah, Gray throws it up. Davis gets himself that pick. That sets his offense up. And once the big play here by Rashard Higgins moves the ball down the field, D. Hart and company finish this thing off. Woo-hoo. That is a pretty little sidestep.
College football on CBS Sports Network is being brought to you by Nissan, premier partner of the Heisman Trophy. By Verizon. Get NFL Mobile included with a More Everything plan, exclusively from Verizon. And by Icy Hot Smart Relief TENS Therapy.
Colorado State, 7-1 for the first time since 2000. The last time that this team had a 7-game win streak, 1919. Looking at that right now after yet another score, the 4th of the day for D. Hart. Tyler Urban, reluctant return. He's now over 300 all-purpose yards today, but perhaps not a wise choice. Only navigates to the 18 as we learn more about the status of Rashard Higgins from Melanie Collins.
Well, guys, you saw Higgins leave the field with a left shoulder injury. They were working on it a bit there on the bench, giving him a bit of a massage. He was grimacing, clearly in a lot of pain, and he's now headed into the locker room for further evaluation. So big loss for the Rams here.
That could be crucial for a team not only looking to win the Mountain West, but Randy, this is a team that has top 25 aspirations, that have a new impact in today's world in terms of the bowl status.
Yeah, and how you win is very important, because this is now like
to 5:04. Please reset the clock to 5:04.
College football now. We've got this playoff system is a little bit of a beauty contest. You've got to be the hot-looking babe. You know, you've got to catch people's eye. And without Rashard Higgins, Colorado State will struggle to catch people's eyes.
Man who leads the country in touchdown catches, entered the day leading in yards receiving per game. Empty look for San Jose State, running out of time. Gray, his first look after the pick. Dangerous tip ball, picked again. Another interception, this time Trent Matthews. And Matthews spun down at around the 10. And the ball free and picked up by San Jose State. They turn it over again.
Number 16, Trent Matthews.
Joe Gray forces it into an area it has no business going to. Matthews gets down there, but then has the ball completely stripped out and stolen by Wilson right out of his hands. Look at Wilson. He just takes that thing away from him and says, that's my ball.
That was a 28-yard run back before Wilson showed the true meaning of the hands team. Bit of a low snap. Gray finds Winston. Winston keeps his balance. Finds the first, chipped out of bounds at the 27 by Trent Matthews. And we learn more about what's going on around the country from Brent Stokes.
Well, #1 Mississippi State struggling with Arkansas. Early 4th, it's 10-all, but then finally they get loose for a big one. Dak Prescott, 69 yards to Fred Ross, 17-10 Bulldogs. Guys.
Thank you, Brent. Incomplete. Gray looking for Wilson. Let's take another look at how close this came.
Well, Gray needed to drop that little more touch, a little less fire. Yes, it does graze through his fingers, but he's 8-9 feet off the ground when it does it. He's got to throw that one a lot lower and a lot more accurately.
A near miss, much like Brett Bielema's Razorbacks have had in the SEC, it seems. Irvin on the swing look and hit on high by Hodges. He's been hit up top a couple of times, both times by Hodges. No yardage here. Maybe a loss of a yard.
Both times very effectively. It's amazing how when you take a person's upper body away, their forward motion tends to stop. And he just rakes right across the upper body. It actually gives him a little something for his measure on the way down. Looked like almost a punch.
With a low snap, Gray looking for Carr, incomplete. Things getting a little chippy?
Not too bad. I don't think so. It's been like that for most of this game. You know, Colorado State knows what they have in San Jose State. And Coach McElwain has made the point that this is a pretty doggone good football team, and Colorado State has struggled with San Jose State in the recent past.
3 straight losses entering this year. Gray against a 4-man rush. Quick look. Finds his target. Brought in by Andrew Vollert. First catch of the day for the redshirt freshman tight end out of San Francisco. Hit by Kevin Pierre-Louis after a gain of 21.
Well, Vollert was the intended receiver on that last interception we saw. He was who Gray was trying to fit it into that tight spot over.
So they convert on 4th and 10. Gray goes long and goes one-on-one. Incomplete. So he looked for Hansel Wilson. Still to come, we'll have the Aztecs of San Diego State facing off with Nevada. Chance for a major milestone in that game. Cody Fajardo closing in on 12,000 career total yards.
That's a heck of a quarterback, and if you haven't seen him, stay tuned and check out the Nevada quarterback.
Gray threads the needle. Gets to the Ram 45. It's Vollert yet again. Gain of 6. Max Morgan with the tackle. 3:18 and rolling. So what cost could this win have? It's Gray forced to throw this one away. You saw Grayson limping on the sidelines. We've seen Higgins escorted to the locker room. A win's a win, yes, but 2 huge playmakers on this Ram offense banged up.
Well, Grayson is going to be, well, eventually tonight he won't be on that bicycle you see him riding right there. Eventually he'll be on an airplane flying home. And when he gets up out of that seat, after flying all the way back to Colorado, he's going to be all kinds of stiff and sore.
It's 4th and 4. Pressure comes. Gray off his back foot, finds Winston and the first down, the second 4th down conversion of the drive. Tyree Simmons with the tackle.
See some of that accuracy of what Gray really, why Ron Carriger and his staff love having this kid at quarterback, plus the pure arm strength, being able to throw that.
After a 20-yard connection, why not go to Winston again? And Winston has another first down to about the 23. Gain of 12. Spartans trying to hurry up here, Randy, with 2 timeouts.
This second half, Colorado State, when you think about it, really hasn't stopped San Jose State. San Jose State has stopped San Jose State a couple times.
Yet again, a low snap. Gray. A low throw, incomplete. Looking for Carr.
Yeah, typical, just when you praise somebody for their accuracy, they go low and left.
The Spartan team trying to avoid falling to 3-5. And even more importantly, suffering a second loss in conference. Gray, deep look to Vollert near the end zone, and he's stopped just short, a couple of yards shy by Kevin Pierre-Louis.
How about that hit by Kevin Pierre-Louis, though? See, Howard, he gets that ball, but Pierre-Louis just sticks him to keep him out of the end zone.
On the ground, not there for Irvin. Time ticks. Preston Hodges with the tackle, and it looks like we have a timeout.
Timeout. San Jose State. San Jose State has 1 timeout remaining.
So San Jose State calls timeout. And we take a look at the lone loss for the Rams this year. You have to go all the way back to September the 6th. It was at Boise State. Jay Ajayi had a huge game for the Broncos. Remember, quarterback play was inconsistent for the Broncos early this year, up and down. The Rams certainly held their own. Garrett Grayson connected with Stephen Walker, but Ajayi, 2 more touchdowns, 217 yards in a 37-24 Broncos win, and head-to-head matters to try to win that divisional crown.
Right, but it's been one heck of a ride. You made the note that 1919 was the last time Colorado State won 7 games in a row. Now it's 1919, right? Not 1990.
Correct.
Oh, okay. Just checking. 1919.
I don't think Jim McElwain was the head coach.
Square then?
It might have been. Not inflated either. It was still actually a pig. Gray. 2nd and goal. Gray. Up in the air and incomplete, looking for Hansel Wilson.
That was pretty special hand play by Trent Matthews. Watch the end of this play. Matthews just shoves his hands right in there and breaks the ball up. Doesn't see when the ball's coming. He sees the ball get into the hands, and bang, there goes that right hand exploding through the hands of the receiver, not letting Harvin catch it.
And remember, it was role reversal. Matthews had the pick that Wilson ripped out of his hands earlier this quarter. Lots of low snaps here. Gray. Oh, that's easy. Waltzes into the end zone. Touchdown, Spartans.
Watch the flow of the defense. Down, down, down. You do that on this fake, you are a dead duck, because here comes a touchdown, just low walking in there by Joe Gray.
Point after from Austin Lopez, good. 2 minutes, 19 seconds left, 1-score game for Joe Gray and company.
Watch Harvin in the fake. Wow, you think they bite on that? Look what's left. Joe Gray, you should almost feel bad it was that easy. But that's a payoff. That's what I was talking about at the beginning. If you don't prove that you'll let the quarterback run, why should I even pay attention to your fake? And you've seen the defense just bite so hard the last 3 quarters. When they see option, they just think running back.
Are you looking for onside kick here? Austin Lopez tried it twice against Navy late last week, and both times came up short.
The problem he ran into there was he gets the ball doesn't bounce enough times quickly enough. And that's really a skill kickers can build. You just have to practice it. So it hits the 2nd or 3rd time and just bounces right straight up in the air. That's what you want with an onside kick.
He has the advantage of doing it on his home field here. Colorado State has not seen an opponent attempt an onside kick this season.
Well, the hands team is in for Colorado State, so they're obviously anticipating this being their first time.
Only 1 timeout for the Spartans.
Might be another pooch if it's not an onside.
Flag flies. San Jose State pounces.
I don't know if it went exactly 10 yards, but they're saying it's San Jose State's ball. But I think it was offsides. I think San Jose was offsides on that kickoff.
I think I saw that same jump. We'll get word from referee Jim Farmer.
Offside, kicking team number 33. 5-yard penalty, the ball be re-kicked.
Brad Koo, the linebacker. That's the first penalty on San Jose State this game.
See, everybody's fine. They're fine. They're fine. Offsides. Right there.
Going to be hard to catch the Rams by any surprise if there was a slim amount on that last attempt.
See, kickers can do some pretty amazing stuff with the ball, though. And if you look up and you see any linebackers or anybody like that in front of you, heck, kick it at them and bounce it off them.
Lopez set for another try. D. Hart, the running back, set up just in case at around his own 30-yard line. All eyes on Lopez. Two-time all-conference kicker. Same type of roll.
It's free loss.
San Jose State falls on the football, and the Spartans have it with 2:17 left and a chance to tie it up. Chris Kearney, the tight end, gets the recovery.
The important, look at the blocking out in front of the ball. One block, two blocks. Ball comes bouncing off a San Jose State player, but it's already gone 10 yards by then. It hits a Colorado State player first, actually, after about 8 yards. Great execution, though, by San Jose State. Got a little luck, a little bit of skill.
Made contact with Aaron Davis, the Rams' top tackler.
It's under review.
So what are they looking at here, Randy?
They're looking at who it touches. But it touches Colorado State before 10 yards. So once the Colorado State player touches the ball, Aaron Davis, right here, all bets are off. It doesn't have to go 10 yards anymore. If you touch it before 10 yards, you better make dang sure you catch it. Davis doesn't catch it. It ends up going behind him, bounces off a San Jose State player. So the ball's in the air. Combination of the hit, I think, really kept Davis from cleanly fielding that ball.
Colorado State has not won in this series since 1996. That was a game here in San Jose. Rams still have the lead.
Hector Roach, the linebacker, hits Aaron Davis just as he's trying to catch the ball. That's what knocks that ball out of there. But Davis definitely touched it at 8 yards, so it's a live ball.
After further review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. First down, San Jose.
So San Jose State has the ball, one timeout, 2:17. That's plenty of time.
Well, Ron Carragher and his football team have more life, and Jim McElwain and company, that'll be a antacid moment for Coach McElwain for the next 2 minutes and 17 seconds. They got nobody to blame but themselves.
They went 91 yards in 2 minutes, 23 seconds to get the most recent score. Gray dealing with low snaps throughout this quarter. Wide open Andrew Vollard at the 45. Spun around by Bernard Blake. At what expense does this come? That one to the sideline. Is that where we'll see most looks?
I don't think so. I think San Jose State's going to run their offense. There's plenty of time. They've moved the ball a lot further in less time. Colorado State still has not stopped this offense this half.
Gray pressured. Gray doesn't have much choice but to take the licking from Terry Jackson.
Timeout, San Jose.
So that's the last timeout for the Spartans with 3rd down and 9 forthcoming.
And there was nowhere for Gray to go. I mean, it was.
That is the 3rd and final.
You're not going to go there to Carr. Vollard, the tight end, is under control. Then Gray starts dodging white jerseys, and suddenly there's a lot more white jerseys than friendly ones.
And that's at the expense of a huge timeout, the final one for the Spartans. So the Rams still with 2. 1:53 left. 3rd and 9, no, that's nothing. San Jose State on that last scoring drive converted on 4th down twice, including a 4th and 10.
Yeah, Colorado State has had a heck of a time when you start looking at Irvin as an individual, both in the backfield and lining up in those slots. I think Gray has been extremely accurate, and you've seen him use the heck out of Vollard, the young tight end here, in these last couple of drives.
Engineered that comeback against the Cowboys at Wyoming over 7,000 feet above sea level. Only 6 of 17 on 3rd down today. Gray launches, a little tug, and in stride caught. Are you kidding me?
Out of bounds. Carr was definitely out of bounds.
Jabari Carr with the catch. A 58-yard sprint. If that's a touchdown, but you see him out of play there. Jim McElwain just had the ear of one of our officials.
Blake uses the sideline perfectly. He's out of bounds 1, 2. He's out of bounds when he caught it. So that is not going to stand. Watch the top of the screen.
Previous play of a
right
touchdown
now
is under review.
He's out of bounds.
San Jose State was just out there to attempt a point after. And it was a long pause until they called for the review, but you were on it immediately, Randy.
Now freeze it right there. See, out of bounds 1 step, out of bounds 2 steps. Ball in the hands. Let's see now. Okay, ball's in. Okay, that foot right there, that's out of bounds. I mean, that's half in, half out. So that's all out.
And if you're out of bounds as the first man to touch the ball.
Well, he got out of bounds with a little bit of an assist from Blake. Blake did a very nice job. But now watch again. Does he have possession? Yes. But right there, that foot, that right foot that came down, and then that foot right there, but this one right there. When does the ball get into his hand? That's out of bounds. Now the ball's there. Stop it. That's out of that last step is out of bounds. He's out of bounds the step before he possesses it. Then he's out of bounds the first step he actually has the ball.
So it's either a 59-yard touchdown or 4th and 9.
It's 4th and 9.
Our replay official, Gary Brown. Jim Farmer, the referee in the white hat on headset. Jim McElwain has seen his star wide receiver get helped off to the locker room. His quarterback has been slowed by a groin injury all night.
And his defense is having repetitive nightmares featuring Joe Gray and this receiving core because they're not even slowing the Spartans down.
Here's another look.
So he's out of bounds, and he's out of bounds again right there. See? That's out of bounds with the ball. So if you're out of bounds before you catch it and after you catch it, you're out of bounds.
The player's foot was out of bounds when he caught the football. It is an incomplete pass. 4th down.
So bring that ball back to the 41.
Please reset the clock to 1:49. Please reset the clock to 1:49.
4th and 9. Now, if you're Colorado State, what do you do? If you're Jim McElwain, aren't you asking? Guys, what are we doing? We attacking? Are we blitzing? It's 4th and 9. Do you rush 3 and drop? Keep everything in front of that first down marker?
San Jose State has been effective against the earlier attempts. 3 of 3 on 4th down tonight. 13 of 16 on the year.
With time, Joe Gray has carved this defense up. I think you have to pressure him.
Low snap. They only rush 3 men. Gray throws it to nobody. Incomplete. Aaron Davis nearly had the pick, and Gray under duress. Turnover on downs. And the Rams can hold on.
It's meant for Harvin, but it's so far behind Harvin. Plenty of time, good protection. It's starting to collapse, and he just throws it off. I mean, Harvin never really has a chance to get it. You see him cut into the screen right here. The ball so far over his head, he doesn't even put his hands up to try to catch it.
Terry Jackson had a hand on him. There's the big guy. As he threw that ball, the knee from Garrett Grayson. They got that pressure with 3 men rushing, thanks in large part to that large man out of Coffeyville Community College. And here are the remaining games for the Rams. Hawaii, New Mexico, and at Air Force, a game right here on CBS Sports Network.
And just remember, this is a team that has a chance to go 11-1. and may at 11-1 still not go to their conference championship game if Boise State doesn't cooperate and lose, because they'd lost to Boise earlier in the year.
And the real oddity with how things are structured currently, if the Rams had a higher ranking, which would it be possible, they could get the better bowl invite. The San Jose State team has to go to Fresno State next week. That's another game on CBS Sports Network. Home against Hawaii, to Utah State, to San Diego State. Another game you can see right here on the network. And Gray consoled by his teammates. This Ram team takes another knee.
But let's remember, too, Garrett Grayson, groin. How's he going to feel? Higgins out with a shoulder. How's he going to feel? The defense couldn't stop San Jose. I know how they're going to feel, and it ain't going to be good.
Colorado State snaps a 3-game slide against the Spartans and now has a 7-game win streak, the first for the program since 1919. The Rams improved to 8-1, 4-1 in the Mountain West. San Jose State falls to 3-5, 2-2 in the league.
Well, you've got to think at 7-1, they've got to be a team that gets into this top 25 ranking. Has to start showing up in the polls.
They were the top receiving votes team in the AP poll. There are no receiving votes accolades in the playoff poll. But it's a win for the Rams as we check in with the head coach, Jim McElwain, with our Melanie Collins.
Coach, congratulations on the win. Not the prettiest way to win for sure, but certainly showed a lot of resiliency from your players tonight. Got to feel good about that.
You know, the guys are kind of learning how to win. And you know, when we got here, we hadn't won much at all. So, you know, sometimes you got to do it this way, and great lessons to be learned. But you know what? This is a good football team that we played that'll beat some people down the stretch here.
Well, the win comes at a price. Injuries to Rashard Higgins and Garrett Grayson. Any update on them?
You know, I think we got a shoulder on one and a groin on the other, and I just know they'll be back. We'll be fine.
Coach, with this win, what message did you send to the rest of the conference tonight?
Well, what probably means we probably can't recover an onside kick is probably the message. But, you know, I thought, you know, we did some bonehead things in the special teams, which has been pretty good for us. But, you know what? We got a couple left, and we'll go figure out what to do next.
8-1 and a 7-game win streak. Congratulations, Coach.
Thank you.
Thank you, Melanie. 14 wins in 17 games for Jim McElwain's Colorado State Rams. Our final score, 38-31. The Rams win at San Jose. For Randy Cross, Melanie Collins, and our entire CBS crew, I'm John Sadak. This has been a presentation of CBS Sports Network, the 24-hour home of CBS Sports. College football action continues. We'll send you to our New York City studio. Brent Stover and the gang inside college football next.